Hey, what's up, you guys? Somological here, bringing you another life story. This one's a pretty crazy one in my opinion. Hope you guys like it, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so this story takes place last year in science class, and there's some pretty weird motherfuckers in that class. Pretty much everyone in that class had bad grades, and no one paid attention, and people wrote shit in the desks and left stuff in there. Once the teacher found a used condom in one of the desks, like how the fuck does it end up in the fucking desk? Like there's literally a trash can like 2 feet away. And just overall, the kids in the class were not good. The fucking teacher would even call us out after a test, like a few days after we took the test. He'd tell us our average score of the test, and he'd tell us other periods' average scores, and we'd always have the lowest score out of every other class period, and he'd always call us out on it, and basically called us dumbasses. I pretty much always got B's on the tests, but most of the kids in the class got D's or F's, but nonetheless, the teacher didn't like us. I would always see him smiling when he was talking to other students from other periods, but whenever he was teaching us, he looked pissed off and never wanted to be there. Most of the school liked him, like teachers and students, but in my class period, where I had him, none of my friends were in the class with me, and I barely knew anyone in the class. Most of them were bad kids, a few of them kept to themselves, but overall the kids in that class were fucking weirdos. And the class was pretty much just filled with all the kids that the teachers didn't like. When I talked to my friends about what classes we liked the best, I would always say my least favorite class was science, and they'd be like, "What? Mr. Price is awesome." That's not his real name. But I would just say, I think he just hates my class, because like 90% of the kids in that class are bad kids. I didn't have anything against Mr. Price, but sometimes when he got mad, he'd take it out on me or other kids that weren't doing anything, which is what happened in this story. So one day, it's a school day, I go to school, get through the first half of the day, and right before science, I had history, and science was the first class of the second half of the day for me. And right before science, I had history. So I finish up history, I walk over to science. So far, I was having a great day until I got to science, which was always the shittiest part of my day. So I go in, and Mr. Price is just at his desk, reading papers, and the rest of the class is either just at their seats, chilling, or up, walking around and talking. So I go to my desk, and my desk was in the front row of the class, and the person that sat next to me, his name was Mark. And Mark wasn't necessarily a bad kid, but he had kind of a short temper, and he was one of those kids that didn't like being told what to do. So he sat next to me, and then class starts, and Mr. Price told everyone to hand their homework up to the front, because he gave us homework the day before. So we give him our homework, and keep in mind like 70% of the class didn't even do it, so only a few people gave him their homework. So I give him my homework, and I see Mark, and he's just looking in his binder for his homework, and he looks for like a good 30 seconds. Then Mr. Price goes up to him and asks for his homework. Then Mark says, "Sorry, Mr. Price, but I forgot to take it to school." And that pissed Mr. Price off pretty bad, and he went from calm to, "I just got killed last on Team Deathmatch." Mad. So then Mr. Price is like, "Mark, how could you do your homework and then forget to take it back to school? Like, was it really that hard to put it in your backpack?" And then Mark's like, "Dude, most of the class didn't even do it. And most of the class never even does it. And you don't give a shit. Why you pissing your pants because I forgot it?" And then Mr. Price says, "Go to the office." Then Mark's like, "No, fuck you." Then Mr. Price is like, "Do you want me to call security?" Then Mark's like, "Fine." So he gets up, and he walks over to the door, and I thought he was just gonna go to the office. But then he turns around, and he chucks his binder at Mr. Price, and started running at him. And he ran into him, and Mr. Price fell, like on his desk. So he gets up, and they just start fighting. And Mr. Price was a pretty big guy. But for most of the fight, Mark was kicking his ass. And the rest of the class is like, "Oh shit!" And some people are recording it. And then a girl from the class left to get help, and 2 security guards came. And you might think that when the security guards showed up, they stopped fighting, but no, they were still fighting. And when they pulled them away from each other, Mark was trying to kick Mr. Price, and he ended up kicking him in the nuts. And Mr. Price was like, "Ah, fuck you, you little piece of shit." And then Mark's just cursing him out the whole time he's getting taken out of the classroom. So Mark gets taken out, and then they take Mr. Price out. And after they left, there was no teacher in the room. So like 5 minutes later, a substitute came, and we just finished up the rest of class. But Mark got suspended for like 2 weeks, and Mr. Price got suspended from teaching for like a month. But after Mark got back, he was switched to a different science class. But a few days after the fight, I saw Mr. Price at Target, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And he said hi. And he had a black eye, and it looked like his nose was broken. And he told me that he was suspended from his job for like a month. But everyone was talking about it for the rest of the school year, and it was pretty crazy. That was a pretty crazy life story in my opinion. I hope you guys liked it. Drop a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.